Namaste everyone. As usual, we begin with 3 Ohms. And before we do that, let's develop the group consciousness. Think of everybody who is within this group over here as inside you. And let's take a deep breath in. Our usual disclaimer: when you attend this session, you do so with the understanding that you're responsible for your own well-being. Life in Yoga and our volunteers don't take responsibility for the outcome of your participation here, so please exercise caution in whatever you do and follow the rule of yoga that there can be no strain whatsoever in whatever practice that you do. Keeping that in mind, let's go on with our chakra vibration. But the first thing to note is that today is a special program day. We are going to have the longer discussion about our spinal alignment practices that we do. So, but first let's do the chakra vibrations and then we will do the spinal alignment practice, and we are unlikely to have more time for anything else. So I do see that there are some new people, and anybody who wishes to ask a question in between is welcome to do so. So anybody who does not want to become a part of the panelist, you can stay as a non-panelist, but I'll give you access to speak up so that you can talk if you don't want to come into the panelist. So let's take a deep breath now. Bring your awareness to the perineum, and as you squeeze at the perineum, we do Lam, pressing on the little finger with the thumb. Lam. Release the fingers, continue. Lam. Last time. Bring your awareness an inch above the perineum and pressing on the ring finger with the thumb, we do VAM. Take a deep breath in. Release the fingers, continue. Now bring the awareness behind the navel, in the middle of the body, pressing on the middle finger, we do Ram. Take a deep breath in. Ram. Release the fingers, continue. Last time. Bring the awareness to the middle of the chest, in between the breasts, and here we do Yam, pressing on the index finger with the thumb. Yam. Yum. 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 Release the fingers, continue. Yum. Yum. Last time. Yum. Now we bring the awareness to the throat, and here we do hum, thumbs up, loose fist. Hum. Release the hand, continue. Hum. Hum. Now we bring the awareness to the middle of the head, and here we do chum. Thumbs up, loose fist. Chum. 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 Release the hand, continue. Last time. Top of the middle of the head, we do Om, thumbs up, loose fist. Release the hand. Continue. Last time. Observe the lightness within, and now with this focus that we have, we can begin our discussion. While the topic was noted as spinal alignment, in reality it is all about the physical element of the exercises we do, out of which the spinal alignment is the most important element. In the physical elements, here we do gentle practices, whereas if we look at it from a generic physical element from a yoga perspective, we call it as asana. So it has 5 important elements in it. The first important element is the spinal alignment. Second is joint mobility. Third is pelvic flexibility and general flexibility as a whole. And then the last one is, the fourth one is muscle building or strengthening the muscles. And the fifth one is balance. So why are each one of these important? I will explain, and how we incorporate them in this program. Of course, the physical dimension, bringing all of these together, is really the building block towards the meditative aspect. Of course, with pranayama and other techniques, we increase the meditative aspect. Now, there are 2 schools in the way things have approached. The Hatha Yoga school has primarily been focused on the asana side with the various twisting and holding and all the poses. And ever since Pattabhi Jois, a very famous student of Krishnamacharya, he introduced the concept that even when you are in a particular pose, you can do movements along with breath awareness. Now, this was not really something new, because in the Tantra tradition of yoga, when they do bodily movement with inner awareness, with breath, then they call it as prana kriya. You're moving the breath to clean the channel. And there is, of course, this prana kriya concept is very closely related to the concept of inner purification, which from the Yoga Sutra is called Kriya Yoga. So in Kriya Yoga, as the first sutra of the second chapter of the Yoga Sutra says, Tapas Swadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani Kriya Yoga. So Kriya Yoga, or yoga of action, is we are all programmed being. By letting the programs flow, but by being not reacting to it, and we mentally seek to know why, what of everything, but we don't emotionally react to it. And we mentally surrender all our actions and the results to God, Ishvara Pranidhana. So that is how the purification takes place, and that's Kriya Yoga. So when we are a pure observer in motion and we let whatever be there observe, it becomes Kriya Yoga, the purification process. So having explained the traditions over here, let's come to the practical dimension. Of course, we understand these are the purification element to take us to the higher experience of yoga. So in the spinal alignment aspect, why is that so important? There are two sides to it. One side is the physiological side. The spine, along with the brain, constitutes the central nervous system in the body. And we know from our life sciences, medical sciences, that the brain and the spine control, they regulate the vitality in the body. And how do they regulate it? On one side, the brain through the nervous system and the spine. Remember, the brain has 12 nerves that connect directly into the brain, that brings it sensory inputs and also sends out instruction. But other than those 12, the rest of the nerves that come out of the spine and through the spine, they communicate into the brain. So the brain is sensing at each moment in time based upon whatever activities you're doing, whether physical, mental, or anything that is going on within. All of that together, it is figuring out how much energy you need at each point in time. And what it does is, according to the need of your energy, of course, it'll even give you hunger if you have to have more of the nutrients come in from there. But at any given moment, each one of us have the stores related to sugar, fat, carbohydrates, all of these sitting within you. And so now the one you need on a moment by moment basis is oxygen. So the oxygen and the sugar in the blood together, they need to circulate all over the body. And the brain directs which part of the body needs, and it will direct it to go over there, right? So that is the process whereby it happens, and every cell in the body produces energy. It takes in the oxygen and glucose, and the oxygen and glucose becomes the fuel to provide the energy in the body, which is heat that comes in there, right? So the brain in a regulatory way is controlling how much you're going to breathe, determining how much oxygen is needed. So your breathing rate can increase, reduce, all of that. So it also determines how much your heart rate and how much it should function so that it is effective in distributing the blood wherever it needs to go. And it even directs where the nerves will contract the blood vessels and expand the blood vessels and where it needs to reach and all of that, right? So that is the reason the spine is extremely important. And from a yogic perspective, we say you're as old as your spine. Now there is a secondary aspect to it. The spine also feeds the energy related not only to the physical dimension, but also to our higher experiences and the higher dimension. So that is also something that from a more deeper spiritual yogic angle you think about. But from a deeper yogic angle, the energy we have in the system, what does the energy finally do? It creates our electromagnetism by which the body's biomagnetism that we have. That is what it preserves. Once the biomagnetism is gone, the body is dead. So the energy flow basically protects that. And in a higher yogic perspective, we say the prana in us, while in the physical sense, it does come from the oxygen and the breathing and the cellular respiration process of the energy production, the higher elements of it is ability to imbibe prana and through the entire space and the cosmic consciousness, and that's of a higher dimension. Now, just to understand the usage of oxygen in our system and production of energy, At any given time, even now when you're fully relaxed and listening, you're consuming at least 20% of your blood flow and energy is going to your brain. Whereas on the other hand, when you're really focused on something and doing a lot of work, up to 50% of the blood is going to the brain. So why is it going to the brain? Because brain is the master controller. If the brain is not functioning well enough, there is no energy for the other part of the bodies to function well enough, in which case what happens? The body falls. That is why, from a medical perspective, if the brain is dead, the person is dead, right? So it is, and this is the reason also, since we need our energy for higher spiritual purpose, if the brain starts consuming all the energy, then what is going to happen? You have no energy to evoke your spiritual potential. And when you're a stressed individual, your brain is consuming more of your energy. Stress, anxiety. That is why in yoga we focus a lot upon bringing deep peace, deep balance, calmness in the system, so that there is enough energy available to stimulate the higher awareness for which energy is needed. Now let's come to the second element. I spoke about joint flexibility. Well, joint flexibility is something that while the nerves go all through the body and they connect in the spine, as we age, sometimes the communications become less, and that's why we do so many flexibility exercises in our own program over here. Then the third element is pelvic flexibility. Why is the pelvic flexibility separate and different that we pay so much attention to? Because the pelvis also holds the spine. And if the pelvis begins to deteriorate, your lower part of the body, everything will get affected. And the fourth element, which we spoke about, was strengthening the muscles. When we talk about strengthening the muscles, given that we do this chair-based program, we really don't have too much opportunity to do that, except when we are putting pressure on the hands and feet and things like that, where some isometric component is there. So recently, as you know, when we are bending down, I ask you to put more pressure on your hands and shifting the pressure between the hands and the feet. So that is the building a muscle aspect. Now, building muscle aspect is important, but more important than that is balance. From a conventional medical perspective, as people age, they will tell you, you need to strengthen your muscles, go to the gym and work on weights and all of that. This is the recommendation they will give you. From a yogic perspective, we are a little careful in taking that advice. We don't fully take that advice. From a yogic perspective, we say that balance is more important. Why do these people stress on muscle? They say if you don't have enough muscle strength, then in which case you won't have enough vitality to work with things and you won't have good balance. Whereas we are taking care of all of that in a different way. With pranayama, we are taking care of the vitality and with the spinal alignment. And in the case of balance related exercise, the key element of the balance is when we try to shift and keep our balance on one foot or the other, and that is how we keep the balance within. And you all know that when we stand over there and when we are doing the backward tilt, I always make sure you lean on to one foot and breathe there for a while and go on to the other. So there is only so much we can do as for a population, for a senior population, and it is gentle enough and safe enough, so that's how we do it, right? So this gives you the broad spectrum of all the physical elements that we do. And now I'm going to open up for any questions you may have. That way what we can do is answer your questions, and after that we go on to the practices. So today we will have only time to deal with the physical element practices, and then we'll catch up tomorrow on the pranayama elements. Any questions? You can unmute and speak up.
Doctor, could you refresh my memory if Prana Kriya is spinal alignment? Are those
No,
the same
Prana
thing?
Kriya is not spinal alignment. Prana Kriya is the idea of physical movements along with breath awareness, breath and internal awareness. Okay? So if there are no other questions, let's proceed.
Most of the energy you get from this like poo, right? But their energy getting from the oxygen, pranayam too, right?
In the physical sense, from a physical sense, the sugar and oxygen, glucose and oxygen is what helps to produce energy in the body. But from a yogic sense, what is the purpose of that energy? The purpose of that energy is finally to maintain the biomagnetism of the body, which is what allows the body to function, the communication, everything to work. So yes. So Asha Sehgal, please unmute yourself. What is your question? I cannot hear you. No, your mouth is moving, but your microphone is not audible. Okay. So anybody else, any questions?
Yes, Dr. Rajan, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you recommend weightlifting?
I've already told you. I've already said that what happens is, for people, most of the people who are in this age group, if you go and do weightlifting, you will injure. Okay? So what happens is, rather than doing weightlifting, do isometric exercises.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I know we talked about how we use the energy for higher dimensions. Is there a reverse effect from higher dimension? We can draw the energies for the body?
Yes. And that is the aspect I was telling you, that the real impact of the energy is to maintain our biomagnetism. And the entire cosmos is based on the movement of vibrations and magnetism that is there. And so in the higher meditative state, you can draw on that.
So are there any processes that we do here that help us draw energy from higher dimension into the physical body?
Actually, it happens naturally. In fact, what happens is, some of you have already experienced it. After we do Bhastrika, before we do meditation, as you go into meditation, I don't know whether anybody here has noticed it for themselves. People have experienced it, but may not have noticed it. That is, there is no more breath going. The breath is completely silent. It doesn't feel like you're inhaling or exhaling. That state is called Kevala Kumbhaka in yoga. And that Kevala Kumbhaka state is the state when, because of the deep silence and connection within, and because you're not utilizing as much energy for physical needs and all of that, the brain is the biggest consumer, automatically you learn to imbibe energy from everything else that is you're getting. In fact, if you stretch out your hand after you have done, or when you're meditative and relaxed, and you inhale and exhale, through the palm of your hands, you will feel something moving over there. That is how you are exchanging your energy between outside and inside. And this is the reason when people go and take blessings from people, they bless with the hand. And in fact, there are so many stories here when you look at various traditions. For instance, when you're doing any puja or anything like that, you're really conveying that energy is what you're conveying into. Okay. So what happens is, like, I find it a little bit of a chuckle. You see, in modern day, when people have marriages and things like that, they put this henna in the hand in a very design and all of that. In fact, the original use of henna, it was given for both men and women. And the original use of it for any time when you're going to do any puja or auspicious events or something, the place they will put it in is right in the center of the palm and the tips of the fingers. And so that is through which you're going to convey energy. And so in order to convey energy, it is given. And people more often think of it as more a decorative thing, and the purpose of loosening the energy is gone. But anyway, I'm kind of digressing over here.
Rajan,
Any other quick question?
yes, Rajanji.
When you touch the feet of the person to get a blessing, so you draw the energy from the feet, the person energy from the feet.
No, that is their way of making you feel that they are more important. By mere intent, they can give it to you. You don't need to touch anybody's feet.
Okay.
Rajanji, one question.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Henna is not really the Hindu. It came from the Muslim tradition. But when people dance, when they start before the dance, they put the alta on the feet as well as on the fingertips and the center. That
Yes.
is why we do that for the dance.
You see, dances are very, very special. But the thing that you mentioned about this, the henna coming from the Islamic culture, if you look in terms of the South Indian culture, if a major, prana pratishtha is being done in a temple, all the priests over there will put the henna in the middle of the palm as well as the tip of the fingers, because they are going to consecrate that. Okay. And in South India, when people get married, both the girl and the boy, both of them get the henna in the tip of the fingers and in the palm of the hands. Okay. So it is very much part of the South Indian culture. The design-based thing coming is, yes, you might say it came from the Islamic culture. So what was the other question you asked?
No, in the dance, before they start.
Yes, in dance. In dance, what happens is dancers are very, very special. And this is something we actually tested a little bit on and inquired did a little bit of research into it. From a normal people who are into this Tantra yoga and all of that, they focus between the Muladhara and the Sahasrara along the body. So what we found was, some of the dancers had a higher level of purity than even all these Babajis wearing various robes and making them feel very important. But these dancers were much more beyond evolved. So when we looked at it, what we found was opening out the channels in the legs and coming out is equally important. And that is what gives good balance to the whole system. So yes, the point you mentioned about dancers putting, and in fact, what happens is, there too, in South India, just like they put in the feet, in the dancers in South India, put the henna along the edge of the feet and as well as in the tip of each toe over there, they put that too. Yes, perfectly right. Okay, so shall we go to the practice? Okay, so let's begin with our spinal alignment practice. So here we go. Let's begin by doing our neck exercises. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, gently tilt your head, bringing the one ear towards one shoulder. Inhale, come back up. exhale, tilt towards the other side, inhale, come back up, and continue. This sideward exercise has a very special importance because the sideward exercise extends each side of the neck, and of course the carotid arteries on the left and right side. These are something that stretches them, and it has certain very interesting benefits that some of our doctors here can explain, because the baroreceptors are over here and how it affects the blood pressure in the body. So this is one very important exercise. We don't get time to do everything every day, but this is one of them. The other one, of course, is as you inhale, take the head back, and exhale, bring the chin down. And when we do it as a practice, we very often combine it with our Ujjayi Pranayama. So because we do that, we don't need to do it separately. The next exercise is we do 360 degrees around the neck. As you exhale, bring the chin down to the chest, inhale half a circle, and exhale, complete the circle. Technically, you inhale 1/3 and exhale 2/3, but I say half for you don't need to time yourself and how much you're doing. So as you do this, you can experience the loosening of the neck. And after you have done in one direction, we go in the opposite direction. So we are not doing as many rounds. Typically in each of these practice, 10 to 20 breaths is considered optimal. Now, after this, we go on to the shoulder rotations. So when we do shoulder rotations, we inhale up, and as we exhale, we rotate backward and slowly come down. If you want to see a sideward profile, inhale and exhale. We only focus on the backward movement for a very simple reason. What happens is, habitually, when we are dealing with all the worldly elements we have to deal with, whether you're working on a desk on a computer or whether you're cooking, anything you're doing, everywhere people are doing like this. So what is happening is, it is that part that is lacking, and that is the reason the backward rotation is more important. Okay? Now, the next thing for us is, remember, the nerves that go into the hands are connecting right from the junction point of the neck and the thoracic region, right? So we need to do hand exercises as well. The hand exercises that go into the mobility, actually, let's do it now. As you inhale, if you lift up the palm and stretch out the fingers, and the hands are perpendicular to the forearm. And as you exhale, make the downward facing fist. When you do that, it has maximum impact. Inhale and exhale. Once you have done this about 10 to 20 breaths, then we rotate around the fist. Inhale, half a circle. Exhale, complete the other half. Inhale and exhale. And you can go reverse for 10 to 20 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Now this takes care of loosening the muscles that are in the periphery of the hands, and it stimulates the nerves, all of that there. The next one we do is we bring our elbows in line with the shoulders and we go around, and here we do a lot more things. As we inhale, we open out the hands, and exhale, we bend and come in. Here you can see the motion is not only the hands and the fist and the wrist, but it is also the elbows. And the shoulders are moving too. Inhale and exhale. And you can see here that we are taking care of the forward motion of the shoulders as well in this exercise. After we have done this for about 10 breaths, we go reverse. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Observe how you want to keep the palms everywhere perpendicular. When you're going from here, you want it perpendicular and the fingers stretched out. And when you're coming this way, again stretched out. That is what, with the fist opening and all of that, gives you maximum benefits. Now, let's continue with the spinal element coming down. When we want to do the spinal going further down, we have to also remember to take care of the sides. So this is where we interlock the fingers and bring the hands behind the back. Now, when we bring it behind the back, we don't want to bring the palms behind the head. We want to bring it the knuckles or the other side, because this will help you to stretch out the knuckles and stretch out your elbows and bring it as much stretched out as possible as you inhale and expand the shoulder. Then as you exhale, you twist to one side, inhale, come back. Exhale, twist the other way, inhale, come back, and continue. So we do this again 10 to 20 breaths. Then we get hold of the elbows behind the back. Now there are different ways of doing the sideward twist. Each has a different thing. When you are actually, I have seen one of our people, even without grabbing the elbows, when you inhale, go up like this, exhale, come down, inhale, go up like this, exhale, come down, they do it. That is good. That's a good one to stretch the whole back. Whereas on the other hand, when we get hold of the elbows, what we are doing is we are strengthening the shoulder blades and the entire shoulder areas. And so as you exhale, we pull like this. When we pull, the shoulder is impacted and the side is also impacted. So this exercise is a lot more powerful in stretching. Inhale, come up. Exhale, pull on the other side. Inhale up, exhale, pull. Last exhalation. Now, after this, we bring the hands behind the back, get hold of the elbows. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you twist to one side. We are continuing the spinal alignment. Exhale, twist the other way. You can see how we are working from the top, going downward. Last breath. Now, after we have done that, we bring our hands to the hips. And bringing the hands to the hips, as we inhale, we push on one hand and make a backward arc, tilt it sideways to the direction where the hand is being pushed. And as you exhale, come forward. Inhale, push on to the other side. Exhale, come forward. So you can observe. Last inhalation and last exhalation. And then we cross one leg over the opposite thigh. And then as we exhale, we pull the knee towards the opposite shoulder and turn the head the other way. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull and turn. Last exhalation, pull. Now we cross the other leg over.
We don't do
This
the long.
form, what is that? No.
We
Don't
do the
talk.
long. We do the
No.
long.
Will you keep quiet, please? Okay. Come. Okay. This is an instruction for new beginners. We are not ready to go on to that. Okay. Okay. So now, as you can see how we have stimulated the lower spine and the hips, and now we have options of doing more things. We can actually bring the knees in, go around the ankle, go around the knee, and we have done it, and cycling motion, right? So with the other leg too, we can do that, and cycling motion. So these are ways in which we are able to take care of more of this. Then we don't always get the time to do everything. I will get to the prana kriya elements with the mantras, vibrations we use later. So because people are new, we want to give them a chance to observe how the basic physical elements are being done. So then we stand up. And so when we stand up, let's see. Okay. Okay, this is reasonable. So when we stand up, maybe I should turn that light off. Is that better? Yeah, that is better. Okay. So when we stand up, we get hold of the elbows behind the back, and Actually, let me do this. Okay, this may be better. Okay, no. Okay, so let me, as you can see over here, we always suggest we keep the feet shoulder width apart or wider. If it is narrow, you can lose balance. So shoulder width apart is about that much, but if you keep a little bit wider, it's a little more comfortable for you. And inside of the feet parallel to each other. Then we get hold of the elbow behind the back. We take a deep breath in and lift up the chin and pull back the shoulders. And after holding this position for a few breaths, in the next inhalation, we shift the weight to the left leg and we do the backward arch slightly tilted. Now, if you had complete balance, you would be able to lift up the right leg and not lose your balance. Okay? But of course, what will happen is all of us, when we tilt in that direction with the weight on the left leg, the right leg, the heel probably lifts up and you're simply balancing on one toe over there. So, and you keep that balance. So this brings the balance element of our exercise in our physical practice. And here we do a few breaths in. I like to do 10 to 15 breaths. Then we go on to the other side. As we inhale on the other side, do the same thing. Take another deep breath in, and then we go back straight. And then, after going as far back as we can with inhalation, when we exhale, we come up. And with each exhalation, inhale and exhale, we start coming down, but we always keep the chin up and shoulder pulled back. Why is that the case? Because as people age, you will find when the spine becomes, the discs over there become weak, under those circumstances, it is more likely to pop outward, backward, rather than frontward. And the typical place where 90% of the cases that happen is in the neck area as well as in the lumbar region. So when we lean forward, keeping the chin up and shoulder pulled back, we are not bending at the lumbar region, we are not bending forward in the neck region, and we slowly come down as much as we can. And we simply stay there. As we inhale and exhale and stay there, what happens is slowly you will find the flexibility builds in. Now, I'm going to bring this a little lower so that you can see the motion we do when we come further down. And okay, so when we come further down, we are actually bringing the hands onto the floor. When we bring the hands onto the floor, if you can do that without bending your knee, that is fine. But if you're unable to do that, you can bend your knee and bring it down. Then you can walk it forward and try to stretch up the knee. Then to give the weight-bearing exercise in the hands, we inhale and push on the hands. Exhale, come back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now, to strengthen the hips, while we are doing many things sideward and all of this, one of the most effective exercises is to twist to one side and be there for a few breaths. and twist on to the other side and be there for a few breaths and then come back. Now, you can bend down as much as you want, but start you pulling, you're going to give more weight, impact on your lumbar region. But because you have been like this, blood has started flowing there for a while. So right in the end, if you come down little, you have less risk of hurting yourself. And lastly, when you're coming down, you take a deep breath in, drop the head, and as you inhale, you slowly come up. So this sequence that we have over here, this basically covers the entire spinal alignment, the joint mobility, the pelvic flexibility, little bit of strengthening and balance, and all of that is all covered in here, right? So now what we can do is we can introduce this concept of how this is done in Prana Kriya. Let me turn off that light. Okay, that's good. This can stay, fine. So the Prana Kriya approach to doing things is, when we are doing only with breath and with awareness within, it is one kind. But the Tantra system understands that the power of sound vibration is very significant. Now, there is the subtle sound and there is the vocal sound. In this case, we use the vocal sound. So in the physical movement along with the vocal sound. So many of you know how we do our spinal twist when we do this. So the way we do it is, you can do it many ways. The easiest way, you hold on to your hips behind so you cannot turn too much. Take a deep breath in, and as you turn to the right, you do ah. Take a deep breath in, come back to the left. Ah. Then to the back. Ah. Chin to the chest. Now, this alone may be good enough for many of you, but for some of you who are not concerned about overstretching, you can do it many more ways. As you exhale, you can swing with your hands. If you have the chair as a side, you can hold it and take the hands back as you do. To the other way. You can hold the chair and do a bigger backward bend. Chin to the chest. So people among us who are less than 50 years old, typically they find they can do a little more stretch. And people who are above 80, you want to be careful how much you stretch, right? So keeping that in mind. And as you know, we do multiple times as we do this whole process. Now, after we do this, actually, let's do this right now so that you can experience it. We still have about 28 minutes time. And I want to do a Bhastrika and a quick meditation in the end. So let's do with the Prana Kriya approach with sound few more times, right? So take a deep breath in, everyone, to the right, and we will to the left. To the back. Chin to the chest. Now, let's do the same thing, but we do twice in each direction. So, to the right. Second time. To the left. Second time. To the back. Second time. Chin to the chest. Now, when we do the same leg crossing over the opposite thigh with the pranakriya side, with the sound vibration also, then in which case we squeeze at the perineum and do lam as we bring the knee towards the opposite shoulder and turn the other way. So let's do that for 3 breaths. Take a deep breath in. Now let's cross over the other leg. Now, after we do this, we focus on the top of the head and we do Ah or Om 3 times. Why? Because as we have stimulated over here, the nadis are beginning to open, we want to give it a little bit push with more vibration. For people whose head is already open and they are connected and open, Om works better. The Om will clean up the whole thing. Whereas for people for whom the head is not so much open, and these are people who may have internal stresses and, maybe whatever, where they're unable to let go of things in the mind, for them, Ah works better because the Ah will open up the bodily function. Ah will not permeate above the head, but it will clear up the nadis. So that's why we say, whichever is suited for you, you do that. You can test either one and look at it. So let's bring the awareness to the top of the head. Take a deep breath in. Observe how you feel from the hips, the feet, all the way through the trunk of the body to the head as you do that. Continue. Typically, after we do this, we do the bending exercises and then we go on to Bhastrika and meditation. We will discuss the Bhastrika element in deeper tomorrow, but today we have the time to do our 3 rounds of Bhastrika and meditation. So let's get ready for those of you who know how to do it. Take a deep breath in, open out the palms, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 13. Exhale. 14. Exhale. 15. Exhale. 16. Exhale. 17. Exhale. 18. Exhale. 19. Exhale. 20. Exhale. Ujjayi Kumbhaka followed by Brahmari. Let's get ready for the second round of Bhastrika. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. exit. 12, exit. 30, exit. 40, exit. 50, exit. 60, exit. 70, exit. 80, exit. 90, exit. 20, exit. Ujjayi Kumbhaka followed by Brahmari. Let's go on to the last round of Bhastrika. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2, inhale. Exhale. 3, exhale. 4, exhale. 5, exhale. 6, exhale. 7, exhale. 8, exhale. 9, exhale. 10, exhale. 11, exhale. 12, exhale. 13, exhale. 14, exhale. 15, exhale. 16, exhale. 17, exhale. 18, exhale. 19, exhale. 20, exhale. Ujjayi Kumbhaka followed by Brahmari. Now we are ready to go on to meditation. So mentally, if you can lift your vitality from the belly above the head, you will immediately feel a lightness, or you can tell yourself, I give up all ideas and concepts and I care about nothing. I let go of everything, I let go of everything, I let go of everything. As you let go of everything, feel a lightness come onto you. And if you have a preferred method of meditation, you can do that. Otherwise, visualize a vibration rising from the lower part of the sternum, going through you and out of the top of the head, and visualize it as 3 syllables. Haim Em Om, Haim Em Om, Haim Em Om. And as you do that, we can have Om playing in the background. And if you prefer not to have Om, you can turn off your volume. Mentally affirm to yourself, I am not this body or the mind. I am the soul that carries with it the spirit, which has entered into this body or projects into this body that makes us who we are. Mentally affirm to the soul and spirit that may I be guided, may this body and mind be guided to fulfill the purpose for which it has come into this body. Become aware of the senses from the top of the head all the way down to the bottom of the feet. And whenever you're ready to come out of meditation, you can raise the palm of your hands and look straight into the palm of your hand. With that, we finish the session today. And tomorrow we will be talking about the pranayama segments. And thereafter, our hope is all the new people can get integrated fully with what we do. We don't do every practice every day. We have time limitations within which we try to do the ones which are most important. Any questions from anyone today on the practices we did?
Dr. Rajan, your explanations today were very clear and very good. Thank you very much for that.
Oh,
Dr.
thank you.
Rajan, Dr. Rajan,
Yes.
when we say to the side to the R and on the arm on the head, when we go down we say mo. Why?
Okay. Did you try doing ah when you go down?
No, I didn't try. We'll do as usual, ma, but I just wanted to know what is the reason.
See, what happens is ah contains the vibration within the body. Ma opens the vibration to the top of the head.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Brij Agrawalji, you have your hand up.
Dr. Rajan, I don't feel anything. You say that you're going to feel the Om Katene, say Om. So you're going to feel something going from the head. I don't feel anything.
That's okay. Keep doing the practice. You see, what happens is different people have different sensory abilities. As the nadi clears, you become more sensitive. So in time it will come. So don't worry about it. But let me ask you one thing.
Okay.
Whatever you're doing when you're on the session, does it make you feel good?
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
Very good. That's all that is needed. And just be as you are. And what happens is, while there is no word called gooder, you'll feel gooder and gooder as you go along. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Gooder
Thank
and
you very
gooder.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Rajan, when you say Om, when you say Om, O long or Mo long? Om.
Let me stop you over here. This discussion we'll have later. But Kiran Bhatia ji has her hand up for a while now. Please go ahead.
Yeah, will you explain the Ujjaini Kumbhaka? What we do?
Okay. I will do that tomorrow because that will be part of our pranayam thing which we will do tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure I will be here tomorrow, but I will listen to you the day after.
Oh, you're not here tomorrow?
Probably not, yeah.
Do you know what is Ujjayi?
Ujjayi, I know, the constraint of the throat, like.
So when you take a full deep breath and you hold the breath and bring the chin down, that is called Ujjayi Kumbhaka.
So you have to hold when you are putting it up, you are holding your.
Yes, you do the Ujjayi inhale, and when the inhalation is complete, hold the breath and keep the chin down and hold it for as long as you can. And when you exhale in between the teeth.
Okay.
As you bring the hand down.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So with respect to this Om, what happens is Om is a personal experience. To keep doing your Om the way it is, and the way it is said is in yoga is that just by the way a person does Om, you can tell how clear their nadis are. So for each person, it will come out differently. Whatever comes is okay. Wherever it is long or short doesn't matter. And it is the experience of all of this that matters. We'll discuss rest tomorrow, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Extra half hour tomorrow being Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.